Well, let me just bust some myths here first. I think it's not at all important to have a job offer for a provincial nomination. I hired the services of a consultant, gave a lot of money to that consultant or agent, you call him, and I thought that everything would be taken care of. But I was quite shocked to see that my agent had not done a great job.
Hi friends. In today's video, I'm joined by Naim, who is a life and career coach here in Canada. Naim came to Canada on Ontario's Provincial nomination program without a job offer. And in today's video, he will share his experience as well as give you insight on mistakes to avoid. Not just that, keep watching the video till end as there is many surprises for you which I'm sure you don't want to miss out. I promise that. So let's go and hear him out. Hi, Naim. Welcome to Canada Tried and Tested. I'm so excited to connect with you one on one, and this time it's equally special for the audience who are joining in. If you could, share your experience of coming to Canada, the challenge as a new immigrant, and your exploration into the world of life and career coaching, and how you are now helping business leader to achieve their business goal.
Thanks, Kobe. Thanks for introducing me. And I'm pretty excited to be here today. Well, I was in a global role and I used to travel to different countries all around the world. I would go stay there for a while, then come back to India and continue with my job. So there was a lot of traveling involved. And we wanted to actually stay in a country where I could stay with my family forever, give them good quality of life, give my children good quality of education, clean air, clean water, etc., as every adult, mature individual desires to have in this world. And this led me to actually start exploring my options. So the two primary clear options were either to go to Australia or to go to Canada. And somehow, I don't know, I always felt closer to Canada. So that's why I chose Canada. It was a great journey when I applied for immigration. And a lot of bad things also happened on the way, but I corrected them. And then I went through some job struggle and finally found my groove and, way into success. But we can talk more about it as we go along.
Sure. So you were once mentioning that on your anniversary you got shock of life. Can you talk more about it, like what it was, so that the audience also gets to know about this experience?
Sure, Gopi. That was the shocker of my life. I was expecting a beautiful gift, but I got this on one of my wedding anniversaries. I had applied for provincial nomination in the HR category for immigration to Canada. I hired the services of a consultant, gave a lot of money to that consultant or agent, you call him, and I thought that everything would be taken care of. But I was quite shocked to see that my agent had not done a great job in terms of understanding the requirements of provincial nomination. He actually thought that I wouldn't really be interested in applying for provincial nomination. But there are various categories, as you would know it. So yeah, so he made a blooper. And then when I figure out what happened, that email was in my mailbox, which he had more control over, and he wouldn't give me the password. And I got to know that I had just like 2 weeks to apply for that. So I immediately, got things around, applied for provincial nomination. And then it all came back to me on my wedding anniversary. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? This time I took control of my, paperwork, but I didn't realize that my agent had told me that all the pages of the passport were not required. Only the pages where I had visa stamps on were required for that purpose. For this small little trivial mistake, the whole package came back to me on my wedding anniversary. And I had just 2 more weeks to apply again with all the paperwork. And then I said, okay, let me just take everything, over. I'm going to check every single document and paper and you just review them. We'll sit together on it. Because I had paid him the money. So I thought, okay, let me just give him some job to review the documents, right? So yeah, and then we reviewed it together. This time we didn't make any mistake. And it was around my daughter's birth that I got good news that I was approved for provincial nomination. So yeah, that was a good thing.
Also interesting that you got provincial nomination without a job offer. Many people think that you need to have a job offer to get a provincial nomination. So what did you do special to get this provincial nomination without a job offer?
Well, let me just bust some myths here first. I think it's not at all important to have a job offer for a provincial nomination. I applied for Ontario Provincial Nomination Program in the HR category, and it was nowhere mentioned that I had to have a job in order to get it. first thing. I mean, obviously, if you have a job offer, it helps definitely. But even without the job offer, it gives you massive points, which will definitely get you the PR. So all I did was I got all the paperwork in order. As I said, I had taken control over from my agent, and I put things in order. I made sure I had reasons and explanations for every single missing document. For example, if let's say, I had moved jobs and the job titles were different, or if the duties of the job were not explained properly, then I had to either provide explanations supporting that document or had to go back to my organizations I worked with to make sure that they wrote the same language which Canadian government wanted. So this really helped me a lot. I think as long as you have all the paperwork, they don't care about anything else, and you will get through it. After my agent actually did that blooper thing, a mistake, I thought, let me just do my own research now. And then I went through it. It was so simple, black and white. Every single category defined, very beautifully, very clearly. And all
Canada
you got to
government
do is
website.
Canada government's website and Canada.ca. And all you got to do is just a few clicks here and there, and it will tell you exactly what you want to do. Even for knock codes, all you got to do is just go to the knock code category, put your whatever your job title is, and we'll give you the list of related, knock codes. And if it doesn't fall in that, then you can Google search it, and then put and enter that knock code into the search button, and it'll populate all the related, job titles you're looking for. Yeah.
And if you are told today that you have to again go through this cycle, would you go with a consultant or you're going to do on your own?
Well, I know you know the answer, but yeah, I would say definitely not an agent because it doesn't make sense. Let me tell you how much I spent. The damage was actually 100,000 in Indian rupees at that time. I'm talking about a few years ago. Maybe it's gone up now. But I only paid the agent 50,000 until that time when I took control over and I said, no, I can do it myself. And it didn't cost me much, just the maybe whatever you spend on paperwork and photocopying, yeah, getting those things in order or some affidavits. Yeah, I mean, that's like 1,000, 2,000 in Indian rupees. That's about it.
So
Yeah,
if
that was
somebody is
very expensive.
starting their Canada PR journey, what's
Mhm.
the top three tips you're going to give to them?
Well, my first tip would be to actually go through the Canadian official website. That is canada.ca, www.canada.ca. It has everything. It has wealth of information that you can find nowhere else, no agent, no other forum anywhere in the world. The second thing is, as long as you are researching and trying to take help from other resources and websites, it's fine, but don't pay them. Don't just get into those kind of things because majority of the time they're scams. Let me tell you one more thing I forgot to mention, that my agent had actually told me that I would get 1 week of accommodation after I land in Canada. So that was more like a scam. And then when I told him that I got through my PR, he congratulated me definitely, although without his efforts. But he said, no, well, we can't provide you. It's very expensive. So they might tell you a lot of things in the beginning when you sign the contract with them, but they may not stick to it. So it's a good idea to actually be very careful in what you're doing or who you're dealing with and not pay money. Talk to people who are experts, who have been through them, because these people don't really have experience of living in Canada. All they know is through different resources and through various means, they send people, but it may not be very legit, according to me.
Thanks, Naim. Thanks for touching upon this. You had your own struggle of being a new immigrant and finding a relevant job as a learning and development professional. And
Mhm.
now you are a life and career coach. So, can you talk about this journey?
So when I landed in this country, I didn't really know how to network. I mean, although I had started networking with people on LinkedIn right from the time when I was in India, a few months before I landed here, and but this didn't help much. Some people get connected, some don't, but they don't really support you much. As long as the point is that if you're not here in Canada, then according to them, this will not work out, whether it's the employers or the connections. So you got to be here first. So I had my challenges in terms of finding a job, right kind of job, no Canadian experience, which is more like a misnomer now, and went through different kind of contract jobs. in my field and did some other kinds of jobs as well, which were not related to my specialization. But then I thought that, why don't I actually help people who are going through this struggle? I understand the journey myself pretty well now. I know what people go through when they come as a new immigrant. And why don't I actually start coaching people, and not just those people, but also those people who are stuck in their jobs, because I'm a certified leadership practitioner as well. So what I do is actually I help people become better managers or better leaders. So there are two kind of categories I generally support. One is the new immigrants who are trying to find a groove in their careers in Canada. And the second would be people who are actually looking for a change, but they don't really know how to make their way up to the next career step in the ladder. So yeah, that's what I do. And this purpose-driven mission in my mind that I want to help as many people as possible, the idea of becoming a life and career coach was born. And there's been no looking back, since then. I think I enjoy what I do.
I'm sure knowing you and the kind of patience you have and wealth of experience you bring to table, you must be changing many lives and at least giving the right direction, which is very important for someone, especially who comes to a new land, leaving everything and starting their journey all over again. And gaining that confidence and gaining that momentum is very, very important. Thanks for that. So if I have to ask you for my audience, if say 5 of them wants to connect with you and understand how they can shape up their life in Canada, can I ask that with you? 5 audience who gets picked, who can have a one-on-one connect and get an understanding of how they can find way in Canada. I think it's just a proper thing, but then I think it's going to be exciting for them also to get to connect. Sure. And
are you going to do a lottery or a random pick, or how are you going to?
5 people, they will be able to connect with you free of cost.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really game for this, and because I want to give it back to the society as well, as I told you, right? Whatever I have learned. A good 15-minute call with each one of them, I believe, would be okay to start off with.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Naim. I think this is a great one for my audience. So, audience who are watching, if you want a one-on-one connect with Naim, please drop a comment. I'm there on Instagram also. Drop in the comment there. Thanks, Naim. Thanks.
I'm really excited to speak with those 5 people. Yeah, sure.
So, Naim, it's always pleasure speaking to you. For the audience, Naim and I, we have a great association. COVID has restricted our movement, but I would always go back to Naim whenever I was stuck with anything, and he's been a great help. And I'm sure many of you would also look forward to his help. And thank you, Naim, for coming on Canada Tried and Tested channel and sharing your experience of Canada PR journey and your life as a life and career coach. Thanks again.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, anytime. Thanks a lot for having me.
Friends, after watching today's video, I hope that you feel more empowered and have confidence on Canada government's website www.canada.ca. Now you saw in Naeem's case, he himself said that he had to follow up with the consultant even after paying money. You don't want to be on that side, right? And for your ease, I have made all the video on how to navigate this website and make it your friend. It is very direct and gives you full control. Take control of your life and your dream. Thanks for watching Canada Tried and Tested.